Hi everyone, it's the Academy of God, and my name is George, and I am a manifested Son of God called in the office of prophet and apostle. And today I wanted to share concerning the spiritual aspect of the hookup culture and fornication. Now, for many of you people, especially those in college around their early 20s, who are who have their hormones all excited and haven't learned self-control. So you go around sleeping, and especially with how we label it nowadays, we call it discovering yourself. Now, I want to tell you that when you go outside to quote unquote discover yourself, there is a spiritual principle that is being applied because sexual re- sexual relationship are actually have a very strong spiritual aspect to them, starting with the soul tie that you form with people. Now, most of you will be wondering, what do I mean by soul tie? It means that when God said a man and a woman will be joined and become one, well, they actually become one, and there is a kind of fusion that forms with their soul when they go and sleep together. And that's the reason why people who usually go around and have sexual relationship together, they sleep together, or even in marriage, they have a stronger connection emotionally because their soul is now being tied. Now, what happens when you go around and sleep around with many different people? You create many different tie. So here you are, you've done with your hookup culture. You finish sleeping around, and I think girls now have a term for it. They call it hoofies, something like that. So you men and women, you finish doing your thing in college and you find the person you want to settle with. But then you have a problem is that all these past years you've been sleeping around with different people. So you have many soul ties with different people. And actually your soul looks like a Frankenstein creature because with all those this fusion and then you separate, so you detach with one another, you go and then you merge with another soul, you detach yourself and then rinse and repeat, you end up looking like a monster. That's how your soul looks. And this is why as you sleep around with many people, you start to collect parts of their soul. That's what we call soul tie. You start to pick up certain chara- characteristic that the other person had. Maybe you start to like the same thing. Emotionally, you start to become more and more aligned with another. All of it is because of the soul tie. And now you want to settle with someone, you want to start a long-term relationship, but you are tied with all these different people, and the person that you are now is not the real you. That's not your true self. The person you are now is just a mixture of all these different people you've been sleeping with in the past. That's why some of you end up having depressions and all kinds of life crises because you don't really recognize yourself. You have this identity crisis inside of you because of all these soul ties. This was number one. Number two, When you sleep together with someone, there is a transfer in blessing and curses that is being done. And the blessings part is only happens under the sanctity of marriage. So when people covered by marriage, they go and they sleep together, there is a transference of blessings that is being done. That's why I'll give you an example. If the person you sleep with, if you the person you are married with has the gift of vision, for example, you will start to see visions too. If the person you sleep with has the person you are married with, then you go and you sleep together. Well, let's say that person has a very easy time hearing the Lord. Well, that gift is going to be transferred to you. And that's just an example. Now, when you sleep with someone outside of marriage, the opposite happens. Or should I mean the same thing happen, but with curses this time? Meaning, whatever curses were on that person's life, when you sleep together, fornicate together, you get these same curses because you are sharing it. You have become one. And it don't just stops at curses, it goes to demons. So, let's say the person you sleep with is dealing with, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 spirits. And then you have 5 spirits. When you go and you mingle yourself together through sex, the spirit that the person had on her now have access to your life. So you went in there, maybe you were dealing with your one demon, you were dealing with it, and that girl or that man had 5, God knows where he took them. Well, now after sleeping together, after fornicating together, the 5 demons he had, you now have access to your life. So now you have 6. And the same happens with that person too. That demon that you had now has access to his life or her life. So now he has 6 too. And then you go around and with your hookup culture, you go around and you sleep with the next person. So you not only you pass them the 6 demons that you now obtain, but that person also adds to you however many demons he collected through the different sexual partners that he dealt with or she dealt with. Which means the more people you sleep with, the more demons you collect, the more curses you get over your life. Then you go around saying that you're having nightmares, you're dealing with sleep paralysis, you see demons when you wake up trying to strangle you, you have all kinds of nightmares, you have depressions, and you're dealing with all these soul oppressing stuff. Why? Because you have opened yourself to all these things. Now, maybe the person you slept with had a curse on her or a curse on him of poverty. And now all your business stop working. They stop being successful. Maybe you had your little business and it was rising, and all of a sudden, nothing. It goes down. Why? Because you went and you connected yourself with the wrong person. This is why not only should you think very seriously about the person you choose as a sexual partner, but also sex has to be done under the covering of marriage, under the sanctity of marriage.